Welcome back to the program. I'm Stacey Washington, filling in for Larry O'Connor today, and it's my pleasure to welcome our next guest to the program. It's Ann Coulter, columnist, New York Times bestselling author, and tweeter extraordinaire. Ann, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, Stacey. Good to be here.
It's great to have you here. So I know I have so much I want to talk to you about, but I first want to just get your take on the absolute craziness of the impeachment vote happening and then Nancy Pelosi deciding that she's not going to send the articles over to the Senate.
It's so fantastic. I got my wish for Christmas. Democrats are even crazier. No, I guess there's no impeachment then. I love this idea that, we don't think Mitch McConnell is keeping an open mind on this absurd impeachment, so we're going to punish him by not sending it to him. What do they think Mitch McConnell is going to say? No, please send us the impeachment. I do think, I think I discussed this with Larry last week. As much fun as it would be to have a big Senate trial and days of interrogating Hunter Biden, I think they know what Mitch McConnell ought to do, which is dispense with the whole thing in about 15 minutes. It's silly. It's preposterous. You can't just impeach a president for engaging in foreign policy. I'm sure this is getting very repetitive for your listeners, but the crux of the matter is the Democrats' insistence that asking Ukraine in exchange for foreign policy to investigate corruption, which is done all the time. What are we getting for our money? And that corruption happened to involve the former vice president of the United States who's running for president now. That's what makes it just a, weird little personal interest of Donald Trump's as opposed to an interest to the entire country. I think anyone who's seen that tape of Biden talking about how he withheld $1 billion from Ukraine until they fired the prosecutor investigating the company that was paying his son millions of dollars knows that is not just a weird little personal interest of the president.
It's actually the best audio I've heard all year. He's up there. It's almost like he's some kind of a pimp or like mob boss, and he's telling the story, and he's expecting to get like a round of applause or a drink spot in his name, but he's not. He's on a foreign policy stage, and he sounds so unprofessional. But it is a deflection, isn't it, Ann? It's what they're guilty of that they're trying to say President Trump is guilty of. He's not actually been involved with any foreign powers in an untoward way, but it looks like the Bidens have. Like in a big way.
Yes, I don't know. I won't on this. I'll be an impartial juror and say, well, I think this bears investigating. Perhaps there were other reasons to have that to withhold $1 billion to get one single prosecutor fired. Of all the corruption that could be going on in Ukraine, this is the one thing we want you to do, investigating my son. You at least have a prima facie case there. They have nothing like that with Trump. When that transcript came out, as I said in my column that week, the transcript I really want to see is of Nancy Pelosi reading the transcript and cursing out anyone who thought it was a good idea to request it.
So now she's got this, it's going to hang over Christmas. A lot of Americans have tuned out. They're moving on. When they get back, they have the ability to, I guess, continue to hold on to the articles. Mitch McConnell can then say, well, we're, I guess, dismissing it or invalidating it because we don't have anything to go on because we need to move on to other things, and continue to push forward with affirming judges at a rapid fire pace. What do you see them doing in response to that? Well, they seem like they're in meltdown mode now.
Well, he could hold a vote. He doesn't have to hold it and say, this is silly, we're just going to let it sit in the inbox. Hold a vote. It's majority rules, and I don't know, maybe you'd lose Romney, who seems to have lost his mind. But no, I don't think the Senate is going. Many of them may want to remove Trump, but not for this. This is allowing social justice warriors to run your party, and they just think anything Trump does. This is impeachable. We're going to come up with a way to shoehorn this in to make it sound. I love their claim that it's bribery. No, bribery is you accept money as a government official to do a government favor. In this case, we're giving them the money. If you're offering someone hundreds of millions of dollars, here, I'm going to give you this special present that you've done nothing to deserve, but you know what? I'm also going to ask you to do something for me. That isn't bribery. That isn't within the realm, within shouting distance of bribery. But I think what you said before about people starting to tune out, oh, whoa, I think they tuned out a long time ago. What I'm a little worried about is that we could have the reverse effect with Trump, with the 2020 election, that we did with Hillary. A lot of people didn't care about everything they were throwing at Trump, and they were throwing everything. The Access Hollywood tape coming out 11 days before the election. Huge chunk of Americans said, I don't care, he's going to build a wall. But I also think there was a fair number of, a chunk of independents, who Hillary was uniquely hateable. She had been hated. You had millions of Americans who have hated Hillary for 20, 30 years now, and no matter what the media said about Trump, they just said to themselves, I don't want to hear about who's running against her. I'm voting for whomever is not Hillary. And I think we could have some of that, the reverse, with Trump, which is why last night's Democratic debate was so terrifying. I did not realize until last night that Pete Buttigieg wants to give reparations to the children of illegal aliens stopped at the border. Reparations.
It's awful.
Because we're just rolling in money. Americans have no problems with, debt, health care, paying bills. No, let's just lavish it on illegal aliens. This is just driving me absolutely bananas, Stacey. There's one group in America that I don't even want to, forget reparations. That's a silly idea. But set-asides, preferences, laws prohibiting discrimination against one group, the descendants of American slaves. Everybody else, all the immigrants, sorry, you're in the same boat with us.
Well, and you and I have discussed this before, how you've laid it out systematically in your books, how we are actually one people group now. After hundreds of years of being here together and intermingling, we are a distinct, unique people group related to one another on a genetic level now. It's in our DNA. And so we shouldn't, not only should we not give reparations to people from outside the country, but the entire idea of reparations is moot now. We really need to look to the future. I'll give you the final word on that.
Yes, look to the future, though. African Americans will always, while fully integrated, fully part of what America has become and what it is, always special, always a special group. African Americans got the short end of the stick for a couple hundred years. And by the way, most immigrants aren't like this, so I'm not being insulting to immigrants. I'm insulting bossy immigrants. But you arrive on Friday, and on Monday you're pointing out, well, I see no Asians on the evening broadcast. No, I'm sorry, don't want to hear it from you. African Americans, yes. Nobody else.
Well, on that note, I want to say to you, Merry Christmas, and thank you so much. I just tweeted out your article, Article 1, Remove This Beast from My Site, your latest column, which is fantastic. Thank you for joining us on WMAL today, Ann. Thank you.
Thanks, Stacey. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.